So the first segment of the Hands-On podcast, we will be going to early childhood education, and I will be interviewing Miss Allyson Gudroe and one of her lovely students. What exactly is early childhood education?
So early childhood education here at Tri-County is a program for students interested in working with children. So any area of human development and child development. So teaching, human services, social work, counseling, psychology, any of those areas.
What is a normal day for the student here while they're either working with the kids or in the classroom?
Yeah, so this is our first year at this new site here in Dover, and we're really fortunate because we have a licensed childcare that serves infants birth through age 4. And then the other side of the building, we have a developmental pre-K, which is really cool because it offers a variety of children for us to work with. So every single morning when my students come in, they go into what we call placements. And placements are hands-on experience, work experience. So they get to choose based on their interests, what age they'd like to work with. And they spend the first 2 hours of the day in those placements working with the young children and infants. And then about midday, they come back here to the classroom and we work on our foundational theory and classroom work.
All right, and I'm wondering, so what age groups are there and what's kind of like the difference in between them and like how you're supposed to take care of children of different age groups?
Mm-hmm. So again, we're fortunate because this is the first year the program has had a lot of availability for infants, and then we have pretty much every age span all the way up to 5 and 6 years old. So we have newborns, we have 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and all the way through. So what that allows students to see is to really compare and contrast the developmental differences between a 5-month-old and a 5-year-old. And this is the first year that we've been able to have that hands-on experience with such a varied group of children. So that's been wonderful.
The students, when they come in, when they tell you, I want to take this course, what do they usually tell you for the reason for?
I have a lot of students just curious about child development, maybe unsure of what they want to do for a career, but they know they like children. They know they want some career path, possibly with working with children. I've had many students leave this program and go to the community colleges, Eastern Maine Community College in particular, for their early childhood education program to become teachers or early child care providers. I've also had students move into psychology programs and social work programs. So those are the 3 big draws: teaching, social work, and psychology, and the career paths that my students in the last 4 years have chosen. What's really cool about this program, like all programs at Tri-County, is it allows them to figure out if they enjoy occupations dealing with children or if they want to choose a different career path. So that's the big advantage, I think, of this program.
And then when students end up leaving the program, do they usually end up going for more like education based with dealing with children, like things like teachers, or do they end up becoming more like caregivers for children in like situations like maybe foster care or like anything like that?
Yeah, it's a really good combination of both. So this program offers, I teach courses through Eastern Maine Community College and University of Maine at Farmington. Currently, they're taking an intro to special education, so it's going to give them that foundational theory if they choose to go into the field of education and special education in particular. And we also work with Eastern Maine Community College with their child and adolescent development program course that I offer and early literacy development course that I offer. So they're leaving this program with multiple college credits if they choose a post-secondary path in education. We also, with the seniors, we also allow them to become behavioral health professionals, and I do that certification with them as well as ed tech certification through Maine Department of Education. So they have a really great opportunity to either gain post-secondary credits or job credentials in the area of behavioral health professionals or educational technicians.
I'm Shane Craig with the Hands On Podcast, and today we're at Early Childhood Education with Baylynn Grant. So, I'm wondering, how do you feel about the program?
So I think that this program is a really great opportunity for people who might want to go into early childhood education or work with children, or who don't know what they want to do, and they can, see if they like children. Like personally, I work with children. I'm a ski instructor, so I kind of knew that I liked children. So this kind of gave me an extra opportunity to see and learn about the developmental stages of children. So that's why I did the program, but I think it's a great opportunity for people who either want to go into teaching or just want to see if they like children.
All right. And what exactly makes you enjoy spending time with children? Is it just seeing them grow, or them getting to have fun, be happy, and run around?
So I work with 2 to 3-year-olds. So they're like toddlers. So my daily, when I go into my placement, we do a lot of play. So we play with toys. And when I walk in and they're all smiles and they give me hugs and they want to sit in my lap, that just makes my day. I could have a really bad morning and I come into the room and they're all smiling and they all want to give me hugs. That's what makes my day, for sure. And they, always want to play with you. They always want to climb all over you. They think that you're a jungle gym, but yeah, they're really adorable and they make my day.
And you said that being a ski instructor led you to wanting to further pursue teaching children. Mm-hmm. Is there anything more, or is that really where it all originates?
So I didn't really grow up with kids until I got older. I have little cousins, so I kind of didn't have little kids when I was growing up. And then I started instructing, and I teach from 2 years old to about 10. So it's very different, and the language barriers are really hard, and I didn't really know what to do with the language barriers. So now that I'm in this program, I've learned a lot about how to deal with different developmental stages of children, and it's really given me a great opportunity to learn about that. And so I can use what I learned in instructing children, and I can use what I learned here when I'm instructing kids. So it's good for both ends.
What have you learned or found out that's kind of best for a kid while they're here and developing and also away from parents?
So when we have our time, so when I work with my 2 to 3-year-olds, we're introducing them to a lot of sensory things. So when they're away from their parents and they're in a daycare setting, it gives them a lot of social skills, and they get to learn and be introduced to different sensories. So we have a sensory bin, so they get to play with soap and they get to be introduced to new environments. So it's really good for them to for their development to have social learning and making friends, and then also learning about different sensories. And that's what's good for them personally, is that if they are introduced to those things at a young age, and then it helps with them when they get older in their learning, so their cognitive learning.
How would you say that early childhood education is different from a normal school setting?
So this program is very different from what I have. So my day at school is very boring. I sit in a classroom and I listen to a teacher talk and then you do your work. This is more hands-on. You get to experience different things, and for 2 hours you get to basically just have fun with kids, but you're learning in a way that it's not just in a classroom. And I feel a lot of people especially me, learn better hands-on when you're in the environment and not just sitting and listening to a person talk and you're just experiencing that. And then even when we're doing our classwork, it's not boring. We make it fun. The topics we talk about are serious, but they're needed. But Mrs. Gudroe is really good with her teaching style. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, what is kind of like the classroom environment when you're not exactly with the children, but you're just kind of in here and learning?
So we have lunch, and we either like watch a movie, and then we listen to Mrs. Gudroe talk, and then we do we read. We also watch videos, and we read articles and stuff like that. But it's just the information that we have, it's not like the school settings, and it's just very laid back. It's not a lot of stress, and we get our work done, and when we get our work done, it's just we have the rest of the day, and we talk a lot. We're talkative. We have fun. Yep.
And has this inspired you to have a career with children in the future, or educating people in general?
Yep. So I definitely think that I might go into childcare. I think that maybe not teaching per se, but maybe taking care of children and being a child care provider. Yeah.
And next on the Hands-On podcast, we're going to go to Energy Systems Technology, where we're going to talk with Mr. Mullins and one of his students about his new solar project to heat the inside of their room with just solar power. I'm Shane Craig with the Hands-On podcast, and today I am here with...
I am Hunter Kelly.
And what program are you a part of?
I am a part of Energy Systems.
Alright, and we were wondering, what is this behind us that you guys have built?
This is a solar panel, heating solar panel.
And how long did you guys take to make it?
Took about maybe a month or two.
And was that just building it, or is that including things like the blueprints and ordering stuff?
Yeah, that's including blueprints and ordering.
And what did you learn from making it?
I learned that there's multiple types of solar panels. Not just ones that power your house, but ones that can give you heat.
And could you explain how exactly it takes the sunlight and generates it into heat?
So it goes in, the black generates, absorbs the heat from the sun, and also the solar panel there powers the fan over there, which pushes heat through the pipe over there, and there's another fan there which pulls the cold air from inside the room to the outside.
And what else have you learned while taking this program?
I've learned how to properly make a blueprint for a solar panel.
Do you think that this is a better or more efficient way of heating the home than how we normally do in Maine?
I do think it is more efficient. It's much better for the environment.
And what mainly inspired you guys to install it?
Well, this is the coldest part of the building. Heat doesn't reach here very well. So we thought making our own way of getting heat in there would be much better.
I'm Shane Craig with the Hands-On podcast, and today I'm here with
Mr. Mullins.
And what program are we in today?
Energy Systems Technology.
And what is this lovely drawing behind us showing us?
This highly technical drawing is a basic representation of a solar thermal collector. These can be used to take energy from the sun to heat one's home during the wintertime.
Do you think it's better than what we normally use in Maine?
definitely can supplement it. One of the issues that people run into a lot is, of course, high heating bills. So installing something like a solar thermal collector, active or passive, allows you to really cut back on your heating bills. Of course, this only operates whenever the sun is actually out, and so we're in a northern latitude. So during the depths of winter, there's a lot less sunlight during the daytime. However, anything that we can do to offset, heating costs and add some BTUs to the home that doesn't have to burn oil or utilize propane, or even with heat pump systems, which are with high electric rates, if we can kind of help supplement that heat with something that's free, like the sun, it's definitely going to help people cut back on their bills.
And how exactly does it take the sunlight and turn into heat?
Works on kind of the same principle as whenever you, let's say you get into your car in the middle of wintertime and it's a nice, bright, sunny day, especially if you have a black vehicle, it's going to be fairly warm inside. Yeah, we can use that same principle to build a device that basically works on that same idea. It's a box that has a black painted interior, and we put a plate of glass over it and seal it up. And then we have an inlet and an outlet, cold air return, warm air output. And so we can then circulate air through it, push air through it. The sun heats the metal inside behind the pane of glass, heats up the air inside, and then we can pull that air into the heating space.
And is the flow of the tubes kind of what you're showing here with this drawing?
Yeah, this is just a real basic, we have our cold air return and warm air output. And it's represented on our wall over here with the red and the blue for for the actual units input and output.
And I'm wondering, what do you feel your students will take with them after working on this project?
Hopefully knowledge that we can actually produce a lot of thermal energy just using the sun, and that we can cut back on fuel uses and our heating bills. So this is something that can be done at anybody's home, and there's multiple different versions of it. So that's some of the things that we try to teach about in energy systems technology. Not just active solar thermal collectors like this, but also passive solar design and ways to build your homes where you may not even have to use any fuel whatsoever, except for maybe just a little bit of wood.
How many of these do you think it would take to heat a normal one-story house?
Normal one-story house. If I'm not mistaken, the units that we have, which were pre-manufactured by a company in Canada, I know that they'll heat this space and the workspace. So right at around 1,000 square feet. So I'd have to look at the numbers and get back to you on that. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2 decent-sized units could definitely help heat, fairly easily a 1,000 square foot or 1,500 square foot home.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the solar panel or about the program?
No, there's just a lot of different ways that we can utilize solar energy and energy that's already being produced around us and harness it without having to necessarily pay for it. So I'm all about free, and free energy is definitely a way to go. So.
Hello everyone, and thank you for watching the Hands-On Podcast Season 2, Episode 2. We plan to get episodes out on a bi-weekly schedule every Friday. The form will be right here. If you would like to watch us on a different platform, we do stream on a variety of services, such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. If you enjoyed watching, please give us a rating. Let us know your thoughts.